بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين له الحمد الحسن والثناء الجميل وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له يقول الحق وهو يهدي السبيل وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. So we're in our introduction to Arabic grammar, and we reached the chapter of Al-Mansubat in the last lesson. We finally reached the chapter of Al-Mansubat. So far, we've done two very big chapters. So we've done the chapter of Al-Marfu'at, those words that are going to be in the Rafa' case, which is normally identified with a Dhamma. So it's not technically wrong to say that now we know why certain words will have a Dhamma. And then we went through the chapter of Al-Majrurat, those words that are going to be in the jar case, which is commonly identified with a kasra. So it's not technically too wrong to say that now we know why words are going to have a kasra on them. And now we're in the chapter of Al-Mansubat. And that's basically the chapter where we go through those words that are going to be in the nasab case. And it's not wrong to say that after we go through this chapter, we're going to know why a word is going to be in the nasab case, which is commonly identified with a fatha. So basically, we're going to know why certain words might have a fatha on them. So we did the first two chapters. We did al-maf'ul bihi, and we did al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. So al-maf'ul bihi means the object of the sentence, that word which is the done upon word. And then we went through the chapter of, or the subheading of, al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. That's basically when you bring a root noun paired with the verb to add an extra layer of meaning. And it could be for three reasons: emphasis, or to show how many times the action was done, or to show how the action was done. And now we're going to do the next two chapters after that. And alhamdulillah, they're not too long. And it's subheading number 3 and 4. So we're going to go now into the subheading number 3. And it's the chapter of al-maf'ul lahu. And that's the third type of maf'ul that we're going to go through. And if you're keeping up with this series, then in the next lesson, we're going to go through our final maf'ul. Because I mentioned and I hinted towards the idea in the previous lesson that there's more than just one type of maf'ul, but the one that's most commonly said. Like when you say al-maf'ul, without saying which one it is, then normally, like they're referring to the first one, which is al-maf'ulu bihi. But there's actually 4 other types of maf'uls. So we've been through 2 of them already. Al-maf'ul bihi, al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, and now we're going through the third one, which is al-maf'ul lahu. And that means that word that comes in the nasab case in a sentence to show the reason why a verb was done, or to show the reason why a certain action was done. Again, this is the chapter where we go through that word that comes into a sentence that gets put into the nasab case. Why? To show the reason why a certain action occurred. So al-maf'ul lahu. So the author brings 2 examples. So the first example that he brings is ma qataltuhu khawfan min Allah, that I did not kill him khawfan min Allah. Khawf, so ma qataltuhu, qatala means he killed, ma means not. So ma qataltu means I did not kill. Ma qataltuhu means I did not kill him. Khawfan, so khawf means fear. Khawfan, out of fear. It's in the nasab case. Out of fear of Allah, min Allah. Khawfan min Allah, out of fear of Allah. Khawfan is in the nasab case. It has 2 fatha on it. Why? Because here in this sentence, it comes to show the reason why the certain action happened. So the action was ma qataltuhu, I did not kill. So I did the action of not killing. Yes, not doing something is also considered to be an action. So ما قتلته, I did not kill him. خوفا من الله, due to the reason of having fear of Allah. خوفا من Allah, out of fear of Allah. So خوفا again is in the nasab case, and it has two fatha on it. Why? Because it comes to show the reason why I did not kill. And that's why it's in the nasab case. And the second example that the author brings here is قمت له إكراما. And that means قمت means, so قام means he stood up. قمت means I stood up. So له means for him. So قمت له, I stood up for him. And then it says إكراما. So ikram means to honor someone, or to respect, or to have to venerate something. So قمت له إكراما, that I stood up for him إكراما, out of respect, out of honor, out of veneration for him. So قمت له إكراما, I stood up for him out of respect and out of honor. إكراما is in the nasab case, and it has two fatha. Why? Because it comes to show the reason why the action of standing happened, and that's why it's in the nasab case. So from this chapter you can see that certain words in the Arabic language can be put into the nasab case. Why? To show the reason of why something might happen, or something might have happened. So I'll say that again. That now, from learning this chapter, we can see that certain words can be put into the nasab case to show the reason why an action happened. So here, خوفا من الله, خوفا is in the nasab case, and we can see that, we can identify that from the two fatha. And ikraman is in the nasab case, we can identify that because it has two fatha. And that is the chapter of al-maf'ulu lahu. And it's a very easy, simple chapter to do. And again, al-maf'ulu lahu talks about, that chapter talks about those words that come in the nasab case to show the reason why an action was done. And now we're going to go to the next chapter. And that is the chapter of al-maf'ulu ma'ahu. And that means that maf'ul that comes to show the meaning of with. It comes to show the meaning of with. Okay. And it's going to be, and the author mentions it here, and he mentions it in Urdu, which I am not going to read. So the author mentions here, and he says that al-maf'ulu ma'ahu is going to be that word, which is a maf'ul, which comes with the meaning of with, and it will come after that wow in Arabic that comes with the meaning of with. So in Arabic, sometimes a wow can come with the meaning of with. And that's called wawul ma'iyyah, meaning the wow that comes with the meaning of with. And if a word comes, if a maf'ul comes after that wow, if a word comes after that wow and you see it in the nasab case, you know that it's going to be with the meaning of with. So now you'll understand this chapter better when you go through the examples. So the first example that the author brings is جاء محمد والكتاب. So Muhammad came with the book. So this wow is wawul ma'iyyah, and we know that why, because the word after it is in the nasab case. جاء محمد والكتاب. And that means Muhammad came with the book. So wow is wawul ma'iyyah. And the reason why the word al-kitab has a fatha and is in the nasab case, why? Because it's paired alongside the wawul ma'iyyah to mean with. So Muhammad came with the book. Okay, the second example the author brings is جئت وزيدا. جئت means I came. Okay, جئت means I came. وزيدا. So wow here is wawul ma'iyyah. Zaydan is in the nasab case. Now you put two and two together and it means I came with Zayd. جئت وزيدا, I came with Zayd. So again we see that Zaydan is in the nasb case, and you pair it with the waw al-ma'iyya, then that would mean, and that Zayd will come with the meaning of with. So it would mean جئت وزيدا would mean I came with Zayd. And then the last example that the author brings here is سرت والنيل. And that means that I traveled, or I walked, or I traversed alongside the Nile, the river Nile. So sirtu comes from the word sara, which means he traveled, he traversed. So sara. So sirtu means I traveled, or I traversed. Sirtu wan nila. So you can see it's an-nila with a fatha. So it's in the nasb case, and this wow, pair it with the wow, which is waw al-ma'iyya, and we know it's waw al-ma'iyya because this word is in the nasb case with a wow. So that automatically means that wow is waw al-ma'iyya in most cases. If there's no other reason, or if there's nothing else that this word could be, I need to clarify that because it could just be a continuation of something else. So sirtu wan nila, that I traversed, and wan nila is in the nasb case paired with waw al-ma'iyya, and that means, and it comes with the meaning of with. So sirtu wan nila, I traversed alongside the river Nile. So these are the two chapters of al-maf'ulu lahu and al-maf'ulu ma'ahu. These are two very easy chapters, which is why this video is very, very short. I advise all these students that have been with this whole series from the beginning, whether you're watching it as these videos are coming out, or whether you're watching them even a year from now, or even months from now, once this series is complete, I implore you, and I ask, like from the bottom of my heart, is really understand what I'm saying here. And when it comes to these topics, don't let the video, and don't let this video be the only thing that you do to learn Arabic grammar. This video is the main resource, but you have to come back and you have to take notes. You have to take notes, and you have to go through your notes, because you don't want to have to come back to this video every single time. You want to understand what al-maf'ulu lahu and al-maf'ulu ma'ahu. And Imam Bukhari was once asked about the secret to his hifz and his memory, and he just says, and what he replied is that, continuously going over what you do. So the reason, and it's the secret to, and the secret behind his insane memory, and the secret behind his very sharp memory, and one could argue it's basically photographic memory, is that what he used to do was he used to continuously recap and revise everything that he goes over. وَأَن تُدِيمَ النَّظَرْ إِلَيْهَا. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And it's basically that he's saying that you continuously go over it. And that's why Imam Bukhari reached the level that he reached. And don't look down on this subject and think that it's a beginner subject, we can take it slow, we don't have to do revision. As long as we do it once, then we can just leave it at that. These are the most important topics to be going over when it comes to this deen, because these are the topics that you're going to use to understand and to open the doors of the Quran and the Sunnah. So you have to take this very seriously, and you have to take your notes, and you have to go over your notes. Imam Bukhari said that he knew 100,000 hadith that were sahih, and 200,000 hadith that were not sahih. And that's at the time. He knew 300,000 hadith at the time. Only Allah knows how much more he did after that. He had over 1,000 shuyukh, and he said the secret to his memorization was revision. To continuously go over what he has learnt. Otherwise it's not going to stay in there. So this was the chapter of al-maf'ulu lahu and al-maf'ulu ma'ahu. Any mistake and shortcoming was from myself and shaitan. Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam are both free from it. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka وأتوب إليك.